Well, there are more questions than answers, and it's the 26th of January. Just 5 and a bit days to go to the end of the January transfer window. When will Mohamed Diomande arrive? Will it be the next 24 hours? When will it happen? Who's the new left back that Rangers are linked with, according to a top source? And that is a very reliable source, one that even Chris Jack cannot debunk. And who is the next Rangers number 9? And are we going to get one? And where's the money coming from? Do we have a mystery backer, as has been rumoured in the media? And what's happening with Ridvan? Why, given the fact that this young lad is in terrific form, are we still getting the same rumours about him? Guys, questions. You want answers? You can handle the truth, Jack. Jack, calm down. Jack, we can handle the truth. And here on Glasgow Rangers Nation, we'll bring you as close to the truth as we can delve, as we can find by doing research. Geez, that's a scary picture of Jack, isn't it? But you didn't know there was going to be a Hollywood superstar on the video today. Well, let's start with at the top, shall we? Let's start with Mohamed Diomande, the guy who is pretty much confirmed as going to be a Rangers player very, very soon. So Diomande, who comes from Norgesland in Denmark, Ivory Coast under 21 international, a very highly regarded, high quality player. Diomande can play centre midfield. He can play wing. He can play attacking midfield. And as Laura said on the podcast last night, there are a number of players that need to be slightly concerned, shall we say, about this young man's arrival and his threat to their place. Is Todd Cantwell going to lose his attacking midfield role? Is he going to lose that 10 role to Mohamed Diomande, who certainly can do that? Yes, he is wearing 10 in that picture, just before anyone asks. Can he take a centre midfield role alongside, say, Lunny in home games? Certainly something that Philly Clement likes. Could he replace Sima, who is obviously out till near the end of the season? Or does Clement have a plan for the wing? Question. Diomande is certainly someone who will arrive within the next 24 hours. So I am told it will be less than 24 hours. It should be Friday that we see him unveiled. Now, there is a strong story that it was not revealed today due to the fact that Stephen Davis retired today, and we didn't want to take from Stephen's limelight. That is certainly one of the rumours that is doing the rounds at this moment in time. More of that at the end of the video. Also, you know what? Diomande is costing £4.5 million. Where's the money coming from, Jack? Jack will get there. Wait, Jack, wait. So 4.5 million, where's the money coming from? We'll get to that very shortly, where that money is coming from. It's certainly a large transfer fee, showing that, you know what, Rangers are taking this seriously. They are really looking at this transfer window quite seriously. They would not be splashing 4.5 million on a player like Diomande, who is, like I said, very highly regarded and has been looked at by English Premier League clubs, has been looked at by La Liga clubs. He's certainly someone that has a very high profile. Now, according to the Danish sports journalists, £4.5 million is absolute peanuts for this boy. Now, £4.5 million may seem a lot of money to us. It may seem a lot of money to Rangers, given our present financial situation. But according to the Danish sports media, paying 4.5 million for Diomande, we are getting an absolute bargain in that price. He is exceptionally highly regarded out there. Has a good eye for a pass, can go past the player, can go box to box, has an eye for a shot, has an eye for an assist. He's certainly someone who is felt within the next couple of years will really develop to become a very, very top high quality player. Certainly, you know, the Ivory Coast does have a reputation producing some good quality players. Think of Didier Drogba, for example, and the high quality players that have come out of Africa, midfielders like, for example, obviously JJ Okocha and Michael Essien, to name but two. Now, according to the reports that are coming out of Ibrox, it is that the medical check is done. He has passed his medical. A contract has been agreed, but the holdup is around the registering of the paperwork and the work permit. That is where the holdup is coming. That is why it is expected within the next 24 hours. But what was really interesting for me was the fact that when this signing was talked about, it seemed that this signing had been sort of come across and come upon by Niels Koppen through his background checks, his data analysis, and his scouting network. It appears that Rangers have really done their homework over this boy, looking at all things, in terms of his data, in terms of his injury records, in terms of his fitness. And we certainly want, all our future signings to have gone through this rigorous checking process. So we're not getting crocs or players that will flatter to deceive once they arrive. Certainly we have had our fair share of that, certainly throughout the summer, given the money that Michael Beale wasted. So it looks like Diomande will be arriving within the next 24 hours. Now, the other day, we had a left-back rumour, and we all got really excited about it because it was reported in the Dutch media via the Turkish media. And we should all know by now, the Turkish media are about as reliable as a politician telling the truth. I'm not going to name any political parties. I'm not getting into that. I don't want to cause any trouble. Now, according to, obviously, the media, we all got excited because, according to that, Smile was going to be joining Rangers. Rangers were interested in Smile. It all seemed to be heading that way until Chris Jack, like some sort of demon, like some sort of grim reaper of the news, like some sort of Margaret Thatcher going after children's milk, stole the story away and destroyed it and ruined our nights. Yes, Chris, you're not popular at the moment. But this latest story, this latest report comes not from a source in Turkey or even a source in Holland. It comes from the main man himself. Yes, that's right, Mr. Fabrizio Romano, the man who sleeps with his mobile phone sellotaped, glued to his ear, the man who is on his phone 16 hours a day, reportedly, and that's when he is not at his computer screen. Now, this latest link is with a left back who has had an excellent upbringing in terms of his youth career, coming through RZ, Alkmaar, and Ajax. I mean, you cannot do any better than come through the Ajax youth system. Certainly, that is what Rangers are aspiring to mimic the Ajax youth system in the work that we are doing with Zeb Jacobs and the academy at this moment. Now, the guy who has been linked is this guy here called Anas Salah Eddin. Yes, that reminds me too of that Kingdom of Heaven movie with Orlando Bloom. I am Salah Eddin. The crusade for the truth is on. The crusade for a new left back is on. If that's not controversial to say. Anyway, Anas Salah Eddin apparently is linked with Rangers and also Serie A outfit Torino as well. This is according to Fabrizio Romano. So look, if it's coming from Fabrizio, it's fairly reliable, guys. And the club have certainly not denied that rumour. Or it hasn't been that, like the He Smiled rumor when that came out within 20 minutes or half an hour or an hour, it was denied by the club. Again, this rumor has not yet been denied by the club. Who is Anas Salah Eddin? I love saying like Salah Eddin. Salah, he's got Salah in his name. Let's hope he's half as good as Mohamed Salah. Anyway, he's 22 years old. He is a left back. He's 5'10". He was born in Amsterdam. He is a Dutch under-21 international. Still able to play for Dutch in the under-21s because he was 21 at the start of this international season. His market value, according to Transfer Market, is around €900,000, which is about £850,000. So very much affordable for Rangers and within the budget. Yes, we are going to get to the money. Where's the money coming? Yes, Jack, we'll get to the money, my friend. We'll get to the money. So, okay, what's he got in his background? What's his background history? So he came through the youth system at RZ Alkmaar. He was then transferred while still in the youth system in the academy set up to Ajax to come through Ajax's academy. And as we know, Ajax's academy has produced some absolutely world-class talents, unbelievable talents like Patrick Kluivert, Clarence Seedorf, who else? Edgar Davids, Edwin van der Sar. Just quality players to name. Klaas-Jan Huntelaar, some very, very talented players. Now, in his career so far, Salah Eddin has had 32 appearances and 2 goals for young Ajax in his upbringing. He spent a season on loan at Twente, where he made 17 appearances, and then he has had 10 appearances for the Ajax first team, including 7 appearances this season and 1 appearance in the Europa League as well, so with European experience. According to the scouting reports that I've read, he is a very good, fast, quick fullback, likes an overlap, can tackle, and is a very highly rated left back, someone who comes with an excellent CV. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're all thinking, why a left back? Why do we need a left back? Well, obviously, Borna Barisic is out of contract in the summer. And yes, there have been rumours about that contract, but as yet, no, nothing definite from the club. So if Borna was to move on, and there's certainly been rumours of him perhaps joining AS Roma in this transfer window, according to rumours coming out of Italy, again, not denied by the club, Roma have asked Rangers about the availability of Borna Barisic. Certainly, if that could be done with perhaps a very relatively, yes, it will be a cheap fee because of the fact he's out of deal, out of contract, certainly worth doing. However, even though he is in absolutely fantastic form at this moment in time, the rumours persist about young Ridvan Yilmaz. Ridvan, who was absolutely outstanding the other night at Hibs. Ridvan, who scored that amazing goal against Hibs. He is, I think, what we can describe as perhaps one of our very saleable assets at this moment in time. Quite rare. Obviously, there was the Verona link that's died. There's been a link to Besiktas on loan. The transfer fees to Galatasaray have been argued over. There are a number of reports across the continent tonight that Gala are preparing to come back in with an offer of just over £5 million for wee Ridvan. Now, he is a very saleable asset. Now, I may be putting 2 and 2 together and getting 5 here, but it does seem with this link to Salah and the links between Roma and Borna and Gala and Ridvan, there does appear to be some movement at the left back position. And as Philippe Clement said himself, he would not allow players to leave until there was a solution in place. So could it be? Yes, I know I could be putting 2 and 2 together and getting 22, but by the same token, I could be putting 2 and 2 together and getting 4. We don't know. But like I said, the club have not denied any of these rumours, any of these reports, which the club are very good at doing. They seem to like denying things when they're not true. Now, it could be that Anas Salah-Eddin is the left-back replacement for one of Borna or Ridvan, depending on what is going to happen with those players. I obviously would be very, very reticent to lose Ridvan, given the talent this boy has showed. He has been absolute quality. So look, Ridvan, yes, get it, 100%. Good player recently, done really, really well. But if an offer in excess of 5 million comes in for him, we do really have to consider it. It is money we could reinvest in the squad. Now, there's been talk about this money situation. Where's the money come from? Jack, I will get to the money now. Don't you worry. So there's been talk in the media of a mystery backer for Rangers, hence why this £4.5 million has been mentioned for Diomande. Now, I've heard stories about perhaps that being paid in installments, but I've heard the same stories about that actually being paid up front, or a large portion of that being paid up front. Now, could it be, after what Philippe Clement said yesterday, that they were keeping the investors up to date and the board up to date, that one of the investors has put his hand in his pocket? There was a mention of that American billionaire that got involved with the club as well. No, I'm not talking about Kyle Fox. Could it be that there is someone secretly behind the curtain who is secretly putting money into the club and not wishing to be identified? One of those investors that Philippe Clement talked about. That is certainly something that seems to be very strongly being reported in the Scottish media at this moment in time. It could, of course, be absolute rubbish. And it could be just a way of that Bisgrave has been very clever in moving money around. I don't know. But it does seem that it is a surprise that suddenly out of nowhere we've managed to negotiate this £4.5 million deal. Could there be that mystery backer? Who knows, guys? We'll certainly look into it and see and get to the bottom of that report. Now, I know what you're saying. You're all saying the same thing to me. And you all said the same thing to me last night on the podcast. But Owen, we need a striker. We need a striker. But we had people saying, well, we've got one. Dessers, 11 goals this season, scored some great goals. What if Messi had scored that goal the other night? We'd all be talking about it. Well, yes, I get that. Dessers has done okay. It was a good goal. Well done, Cyril Dessers. I just don't think the guy has it in him to be a starting number 9. And if you look back across his career, he certainly has not been a good starting 9. He's been much better coming off the bench. You look back at his Feyenoord goals, particularly those Europa Conference League goals, those were mostly off the bench. He does well coming off the bench. That's where Cyril Dessers is more effective. He is less effective as a starter. If you go back, research his career, look into it, you'll find out that that is actually true. There really is a need, I think, to get a striker. As Laura mentioned on the podcast last night, he's so hit and miss. Yes, He does score some rather good goals, like the one the other night and the one against Betis. But at the same point, he misses some very easy chances, like the ones against Dumbarton that Nasser are still looking for, like the chance that he had last night when he smashes it straight at the goalkeeper. Look, we do need an out-and-out 9. I'm sure this man is pushing for that. He did say in his press conference he would not be contented if the squad we've got now is the squad that we're going into into February with. So there will be arrivals. I'm fully confident of that. Now, I know the name that's been mentioned. You all want Lawrence Shankland. I don't think that's going to happen, if I'm being honest. Why don't I think that's going to happen? Because Hearts want a certain value for him, £3 to £5 million. They will want time to replace him. I think with the window getting late as it is, unless they've got someone lined up, I think it is very unlikely. It is to be hoped, though, that Niels Koppen and Philippe Clement have got a plan B, plan C, and plan D in place. I'm sure they have. Now, one of the things that is coming across is that Koppen is very much working with his background checks, his data analysis, his scouting analysis, his player analysis, and working with those to draw up lists of players. Now, I fully believe that that is helping us to identify a striker, and a striker will be brought in before the end of the January transfer window. I don't think it will be Lawrence Shankland for a number of reasons. Number one, like I've said, is because of Hearts replacing him, the money, etc. The second, as well, is I don't think Shankland fits the system that Clement wants to play. Clement has been using Silva in that 9 role. For me, he wants a more fluid, a less stand up there and be a poacher, stand up there and be a target man kind of striker. He wants someone who's going to have good movement, who's going to move about, make space for the runners from midfield. His system is very much about that. You know, having someone alongside the holder who bombs on, having a 10 that goes and works in between those channels, works in between those gaps, wingers that go out and use the space out wide. Again, those spaces that can be created by having a mobile number 9. And I do think that perhaps Shankland hasn't got the pace for that, is not that type of player. So I do think there is plans afoot to get a striker. I just don't think it's going to be Lawrence Shankland. Well, guys, hopefully that's helped with a little bit of, hopefully that now is as clear as mud. Diomande in the next 24 hours, perhaps Salah Adine, and maybe a striker. Look, that's what we know. That's where we're up to. The club are obviously playing their cards very close to their chests, but it is a scheme. We've got to just trust that Koppen and Clement are getting this right. That's what we've got to trust in. Koppen has, as I've always said on these videos, a superb track record. Sabari, Bakayoko, Sangare, Noah Lang, great record. Clement is working miracles with this squad, and we certainly don't want to be looking like this on the 1st of February. So, guys, let me know what you think in the comments down below. And as always, please smash that sub and help the channel to keep on growing. On the way out, there's always 2 favors I ask of you. Number 1 is to smash the like, and number 2 is always to remember we are the people.